Paul Williams was seriously injured in a motorcycle accident Sunday morning in Atlanta, Georgia. Williams may be permanently paralyzed from the waist down. Then we learned that boxing legend and five-time world champion Johnny Tapia died at his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Sunday evening. Now let's go to Jimmy Lennon for a tribute to Johnny Tapia. But first, Johnny Tapia, as well as Paul Williams, just two major tragedies. Williams was supposed to get an opportunity for his biggest payday, potentially against Alvarez, but a motorcycle accident has left him bedridden, and then Tapia was such a good friend to us at Showtime.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for Paul Williams, first of all, a little bit of news to report. He had another medical procedure today that went as well as the medical people could expect it to be. He is resting comfortably, and he's in good spirits. Obviously, the nature of this accident is tragic for him and his family, and as you said, derailed his career at this juncture, and more than that. Now, as for Johnny Tapia, you mentioned his close relationship with all of us here at Showtime. 9 fights on this network. He was at the time of his death working for our features department, doing the interviews and features, and you know, he's a fighter who, despite the fact that he never quite beat all his personal demons, was beloved by just about everybody that was around him. And Gus, I think if there's a legacy for him, it's that he made the world, and certainly the United States, pay attention to fighters at lower weight classes.
Now let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr. for a tribute to Johnny Tapia.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please, as we pause at this time to recognize the recent passing of beloved boxing great Johnny Tapia. An enormous fan favorite, Johnny captured 5 world titles in 3 weight divisions, yet outside of the ring, he captured the hearts of all he met with his warm and generous spirit and his endearing personality. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to rise and remain silent as our timekeeper tolls 10 in honor of the fallen champion, Mi Vida Loca, Johnny Tapia. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Mi Vida Loca. May his soul rest in peace.
All right, so from everyone here at Showtime, we want to send our thoughts and prayers to the Tapia family in this time of loss. Unbeaten, Peter Kid Chocolate Quillin is the only American to be found among the legitimate contenders at middleweight. Tonight he makes a major and potentially a very dangerous jump up in class by meeting 40-year-old Winky Wright, who was once among the best fighters in the world at any weight. What does the older fighter have left? What does the younger fighter have to learn is the question.
I had a lot of people ask me, was I retired? I just took some time off. You know, the boxing game had got real crazy. None of the big fighters wanted to fight me.
He's a future Hall of Famer. I think he's a great fighter. But I just think it's out with the old and in with the new.
I love a challenge. A lot of old fighters come back and fight guys with losing records. I chose an undefeated fighter, a fighter, you know, that's got a lot of skill and talent. This is his time to try to get my name under his belt.
I really can't say where his motivation came from for this fight, thinking like he could step in the ring with a guy that's 26-0 with 20 knockouts, and I'm definitely trying to punch somebody's guts out of their body. I hit you, you go down, I'm always smiling at you. I want to be the champion so bad that I beat my own mother up.
He hasn't experienced a loss yet. He hasn't experienced getting in there doing something and then it don't work, then what I'm gonna do now? Or somebody hurting him, and can he survive?
My plans for Winky is just putting leather on his ass.
We'll see.
When Winky Wright established his pound-for-pound credentials by twice beating a prime Shane Mosley, Peter Quillin hadn't yet turned pro. That was 8 years ago, and Winky's had only 9 fights since. He's a master southpaw and one of the smartest fighters of his era. Can Winky turn back the clock, or at least suspend time, for one more night of glory? Winky Wright's impressive resume boasts 15 title fights with 157 championship rounds worth of experience against Peter Quillin, who's looking to break through in the middleweight division. Age and experience versus youth and strength. Peter Quillin, born in Chicago, raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the same home as the great Floyd Mayweather Jr., moved to New York for an opportunity to further his boxing career, and now takes the biggest stage of his career against Winky Wright.
I ain't talking about chit-chatting. What you know about brick checking the midsection, anything in the ring with 2 toes, you know. We passing one-way tickets out the Pluto. Flight gear on, fly within the aviator. You looking wavy hater, we be making crazy paper. I know slow though, but I don't like lazy paper. That's why these phones overheating like radiators. We in the back, bucket seats with the alligator, but still in touch with the streets like the alley player. We done figured niggas out, so we point them out. First round of the bout, man, they falling out.
Peter Quillin, Kid Chocolate, enters the ring for his greatest challenge as he takes on Ronald Winky Wright. Quillin, 28 years old. At one time, he worked at IHOP in New York. He lost that job. He lost a place to live. He slept on the floor of a buddy's apartment on a mattress that he pulled out of the garbage can. He says he's gone through some hard times, but through those times he showed perseverance, and now he's ready to take the biggest step of his career. But it won't be easy. Winky Wright, he's fought everybody out. Paul Williams, Bernard Harkins, Ike Quartet, Jermaine Taylor, Felix Trinidad, Shane Mosley twice, Fernando Vargas. A true warrior.
And many of those were wins, and one of them, a draw against Jermaine Taylor, he thinks was a win. That's his longtime trainer, Dan Birmingham, who's been with him since he was 16 years of age, right behind him. And for Winky Wright, with this almost 4-year layoff, he comes into this fight after having lost to Bernard Hopkins the last time out in a fight in which he went way up. Well, before that, after that, he lost to Paul Williams in a fight in which he performed extremely well. So the last time we saw him, he did fight well, but ended up losing to Paul Williams. But this is a tremendous layoff for a 40-year-old fighter. Now, mind you, he is still by far the best fighter Peter Quillin has faced so far. And he thinks that and his experience will carry the day.
Welcome back, Winky Wright. And that brings us to the tail of the tape. Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillin against Ronald Winky Wright.
All those numbers in the last 3 categories, pretty close, but the salient number in this tail of the tape is number 40. That is the age of Winky Wright. Will that make him less effective, or will it simply point to the experience over the 28-year-old Quillin?
And the California rules for this fight.
Yes, there is a change here. The change is that the fight would be official after the start of the 4th round. If there was a clash of heads after the start of the 4th round, they would go to the scorecards. Before that, of course, it would be a no contest.
We are ready for the first of our co-featured fights. Let's go to our ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Well, fans, at this time we present one of our featured attractions brought to you by Golden Boy Promotions and Showtime, as sponsored by Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina, and AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Introducing to you our judges scoring this bout from ringside, all from the state of California. From Beverly Hills, Gwen Adair. From West Covina, Hall of Famer Marty Denkin. And from Chula Vista, Alejandro Rochin. Introducing to you our third man in the ring, the referee in charge of the action, Zach Young. All right, fans, here we go. 10 rounds of boxing in a middleweight special attraction. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with white trim, hailing from New York City by way of Grand Rapids, Michigan. He weighed in at 159 1/2 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign in the ring with an outstanding record of 26 wins, no losses, 20 big wins coming by way of knockout. Ranked the WBA #5 middleweight in the world. Introducing the undefeated Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillin. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, this 10-round special attraction, wearing gray trunks with red trim, fighting out of St. Petersburg, Florida. He weighed in at a ready 159 pounds with a record of 51 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw. He has 25 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight, making his return to the ring, please welcome the former undisputed 154-pound champion of the world, introducing Ronald Winky Wright. Once again, a referee in charge, Zach Young, now to give instructions.
Take everything off, okay? Shirt off. Let's go. Okay, mouthpiece in. All right. Got mouthpiece in. Shoot second. Shoot second. Okay. You both already had your instructions in the dressing room. Remember to protect yourself at all times, all right? Touch them up. Good luck. All right.
10 rounds, middleweight division, 160 pounds, a special attraction. Kid Chocolate, Peter Quillin, 26-0, 20 KOs, out of Grand Rapids, now living in New York.